Nous allons prendre une deuxième vidéo et nous allons parler de la langue. Parce que Jésus-Christ n'était pas chrétien. Il était pourtant un croyant. Il était le Fils de Dieu qu'il a envoyé sur terre, notre frère. Et il nous a enseigné tout ce que son père lui a dit. Mais ici, je vais vous rappeler que nous sommes à un tournant. Nous sommes à un tournant de toutes les nations. Avec Dieu, tout est possible. Lorsque je disais toujours que the turning point for all nations, et je disais que l'Afrique, Africa is in a crossroad. Vous avez les publications. Mais je vais vous rappeler quelque chose. En anglais, je vais parler maintenant. Acceptez cela. 1997, 2006. First United Nations Decade for the eradication of poverty. Poverty, an obstacle to the human rights. So long as every fifth inhabitant of our planet lives in absolute poverty, there can be no real stability in the world. Quote Kofi Annan, United Nations Secretary General, one of my best reference. I know, he said, I know, no, it knows no geographical boundaries, spits over all continents, and is present in both industrialized and developing countries. Though, to differing extents, it causes inadequate standards of living, weak health, hunger, unsanitary housing, homelessness, unemployment, social exclusion, and illiteracy. It cripples the lives of some 1.5 billion people, whose numbers is rising by at least 25 million a year. The majority are women, children, and elderly. The 1995 World Health Report, Bridging the Gaps, found it to be the world's most ruthless killer and the greatest cause of suffering on earth, extreme poverty. At the 1993 World Conference on Human Rights, it was affirmed that extreme poverty and social exclusion constitute a violation of human dignity. At other recent United Global Conferences, especially the 1995 World Summit for Social Development held in Copenhagen, the international community committed itself to devising policy, strategies, and concrete action aimed at eradication of poverty. The Copenhagen Declaration reaffirmed that the right to development, which implies an ultimate eradication of poverty, is a fundamental human right. The International Decade for the Education for Eradication of Poverty 1997 to 2006 has been proclaimed by the United Nations. The special theme chosen for 1998 within the context of decades and the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was, quote, poverty, human right, and development. People who live in poverty generally describe it as a vicious circle, since they are confronted by a wide range of misfortunes which are interlinked and hard to overcome. Indeed, being deprived of resources makes it impossible for anyone to afford the most basic human needs or to enjoy the most fundamental human rights specified in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, such as the right to housing, to a decent standard of living, to education, to health, to work, to life, and to participation in social, cultural, civil, and political life, among others. Living in poverty involves the denial of human rights as a whole. This clearly illustrates the importance given to the principles of interdependence and indivisibility in various human rights instruments. Establishing a connection between democracy, development, and human rights requires that all human rights are viewed as universal, indivisible, and interdependent. According to the World Health Organization report, poverty is the main reason why 1. Babies are not vaccinated. Progress of Nations 1998, a publication of UNICEF, states that every year 2 million children dying from a lack of basic vaccines available against the 6 major child-killing diseases could be saved. 2. Clean water and sanitation are not accessible. Every year, 3 million children in developing countries die for lack of clean water. Of the 1.4 billion people in developing countries, nearly 3/5 lack basic sanitation, and almost a third do not have access to clean water. Third, curative drugs and other treatments are unavailable. 4, mothers die in childbirth. Each year, nearly 600,000 women die worldwide from pregnancy-related causes. 5, reduced life expectancy. According to Human Development Report 1998, nearly 200 million people in rich nations are not expected to survive to age 60. For example, because of social and economic upheavals in Russia, male life expectancy is down by more than 5 years since 1989. 6, handicap and disability. 7, starvation. I quote, it is also a major starvation. It is also a major contributor to mental illness, stress, suicide, family disintegration, and substance abuse. Leandro Despuy, special reporter on human rights and extreme poverty, stated when reporting on this appalling situation in 1996, quote, this is an age of unprecedented contrasts. On the one hand, there are people lapping up wonders of technological progress, culture, the information revolution, and the thrilling promises of the space age. On the other hand, there are vast numbers leading lives of indigence, adversity, and neglect. For one part of mankind, change is gathering pace. For the other, it is marking time or losing ground. This fateful decline lies at the root of the most disturbing knowledge in our possession. For what matters most is not that those who are progressing are few, or may be becoming fewer by the day, but that every day more people fall behind and do so with terrifying speed. Full stop. Let us continue. Even though the globalization of the world economy has provided new opportunities for all countries, many countries that are not able to compete are being left behind and marginalized, thus exacerbating poverty. United Nations agencies, governments, and civil society are trying to correct this situation by reaching the poorest in designing, implementing, and evaluating programs to alleviate their condition, thus adopting a human rights-based approach to poverty. This participatory approach has emphasized the involvement of the poor themselves and the importance of human relations. Kofi Annan, UN Secretary General, sent a hopeful message on the occasion of the launch of the International Year for the Eradication of Poverty in 1996, when he stated, quote, "To those in poverty, ... 3 point, we are listening. We ask you to tell us how we can work to meet your aspirations, not for you, but with you." At the 1998 session of the Commission on Human Rights, an independent expert was appointed to address the question of human rights. You can see how I'm enlightened, but I have to finish the reading. So, I quote again, at the 1998 session of the Commission of Human Rights, an independent expert was appointed to address the question of human rights and extreme poverty. His main tasks, among others, are to, we quote, 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Point 1 is evaluate the relationship between the promotion and protection of human rights and extreme poverty, including through the assessment of measures taken at the national and international levels to promote the full enjoyment of human rights by persons living in extreme poverty. Second, take into account the obstacles encountered and progress made by women living in extreme poverty as regards the enjoyment of their fundamental rights. 3. Contribute to the UN General Assembly's 5-year evaluation in the year 2000 of the World Summit on Social Development by preparing a final report and conclusion devoted to that evaluation. And the last point, make suggestions to the Commission on Human Rights for a possible draft declaration on human rights and extreme poverty. Now, according to the special reporter, the fight to eradicate poverty requires detailed knowledge not only of the causes and factors which give rise to, aggravate, and perpetuate it, but also of its impact on human rights and fundamental freedoms as a whole. It is essential to set in motion machinery for participation which involves the poorest at every stage of the policies devised to help them. That is his quote. He said, again, I quote, "Only thus can concrete and lasting results be achieved. Only as they rediscover their full range of rights and freedoms shall we see emerging in all their splendor the human beings behind the poverty-scarred faces." Full stop. This is for more information contact. We have here UN Department of Public Information Development and Human Rights section. The telephone number is, as you know, America +1. Then you have 212 and the city code, and then 963-3771. Email is VASIC, VASIC @un.org. This is some of the documents that the Secretary General Kofi Annan gave me in 2000 year when we met in China again after 1995 when we held the Women Conference, and he became one of my mentor. Now you have Kofi Annan, Secretary General of UN. You have President Nelson Mandela, and you have Winnie Mandela. Three of them were my mentors in China regarding Africa, because I was chased away. I was humiliated. I didn't have voice in my embassy, where I could be protected, guided. I was coming always with everything that they give me to give to them so that the voice of Africa can be heard. I couldn't, but believe me, they gave me way to be known in China, to be followed in China, and the government of China also helped carry me with all their nice character, love, and I have the right to follow step by step extraordinary takeoff of China and witness the great boom of that 2000 year, because that was a prophecy that I gave and that came true. I was in the OUR as a member, a single person member of OUR, because they found that the Cameroonians are weak. Because when you have a lady like Ndomo Melingui Thérèse, called by God, and who decide to quit everything to follow what is the best way for African people to get out of poverty, to get out of ignorance. Cameroon denied me my identity in China when I passed my exam for a PhD, for a 3 years PhD studies for this cause of God, for this cause of Jesus Christ, the Black, for this cause of Mary, Mother Mary, old Eva, for this cause of African backwardness. Unbelievable. The ambassador refused to sign a piece of paper that was sent by the university, Remy, to recognize that I'm from Cameroon. Yes, they didn't ask him to give me Cameroonian fellowship or no. It was just for me to at least receive my own fellowship, my own recognizing that I am Cameroonian. But God is God. If God chooses you to do anything, if you recognize his voice, no matter what barrier they can put on your way, no matter what difficulties you can cross, believe in him and be determined. And do whatever he tells you. Because God never fails. God never lies. God is God. Therefore, now you all are witnessing how the Lord is coming here. In France, I am. But I'm still not free to do whatever I want to do because I'm from Africa. We are still slaves and we need freedom. God decided to make a turning point for all nations in 1995. It was also the aim of our people who are in South America, who are in America, who are in Asia, who are in Australia, who are in Japan, and those who are called diaspora around all industrial countries. I tell you, nothing is impossible with God. And we can see here a little stop, and then we move to the next video. You have seen how the Lord is on me. You see how his light is coming from outside and enter in the house. I show you. Here is my balcony giving to the avenue of General de Gaulle. It is from there. that our Lord come in and gives us all his instructions. Then you can see now, by the time that I'm explaining, we are shift on the top of academic seat. We can call it like that. I'm sitting at the academic seat. And we are sent up. You can see on top of the seat of ecumenic and pastoral seat. It is how our Lord speaks to us. I'm going back to the kitchen because my Lord speaks to the ladies in the kitchen. We are. The Lord enters in the kitchen. Now I'm in the kitchen. And Mother Mary appears. You can see within the light. She's there with the rainbow, with the light of the Eucharist of her Son, which describes fully his life from the conception to the death and to the resurrection. Here is Mother Mary to end this first video. We are in the kitchen. I'm here. I'm not anymore in the salon. And today we are having a year dream. A daydream, sorry. Today, November 21st, 2023, is the day of dreamers. The dreamers of Mother Mary, the dreamers of Jesus Christ, the dreamers of Mary of Magdala, the dreamers of Thérèse d'Avila, and furthermore, the dreamers of God and his Son, Jesus Christ, who are coming to reestablish the world that God created. And the unique family that God created, from Adam to Noah, and then furthermore, everything will be done through the door of not returning door that will become the returning door, which is in Bimbia, that was called Victoria. God is the beginning and the end. And also, that unique family had one language that God revealed me in China, in a train, taking me from Beijing to Yunnan, the city of all the history of China. Let's say it like that. The minorities are grouped there. That night, the Lord, who is in front of me now, from the roof, he was giving me letter by letter. We call it pictographic letters. And told me that this is the language that you will be using at the end of your study, at the end of your marathon. That is the Alpha and the Omega, which created alphabet. I already published it. I already discovered it in China. The first day that I was informed that I am accepted in Renmin University, I have no money to buy new books, and one of the Cameroonian students took me to the place where they were also buying used books. Then I bought 2 books which were similar, written in Chinese. Because when I opened the first book, immediately I found the table of those pictographic scripts. Then I said, I need to take the both. I bought them 10 yuan, which I can say 1 euro. So 2 euro too. When we came home, then I discovered that it is these books, brothers and sisters, they are here. These 2 books, I bought them 10 yuan, 10 yuan. But in France, when I came to find out, because this is number 1, number 2, I went to UNESCO. I bought them. You can see the collection. Here, 45 euro, 1 book. Yes, I have them. To find out and to understand. My mother, who is in heaven, she is the best mother. I'm telling you. She's here inviting every woman to go back to their kitchen. Young, girls, older women. Leave the men in their parlor. Let us go in the kitchen. Kitchen will give you a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, a lot of understanding. And you will learn again how to make good food for your family, good dishes for your husband, for your brothers and sisters, and how to welcome everybody after you have cooked. You can see the light is here, giving here. There is nothing else than Mother Mary, who is speaking to us here in the kitchen. Let us say thanks to our mother, our beloved mother, Eve of old days. And for a time, my sisters, we did not have any problem of money. We did not have any problem of business. We have been sharing everything that we produce. Keep that in mind and believe your ancestors. Believe your parents. stay together. Because if you believe God and you don't believe your parents and grandparents who are here with you, who bear you, you cannot be successful in life. They have everything to teach you. And also, remember that Christianity came after our own knowledge of God. They call it primitive people. We will understand what is that. Mother Mary is here. I'm leaving all of you with her and say, thank you, Mom. See you. I am Dr. Ndomo Melingui Thérèse, servant of God, called by himself and accompanied by Jesus Christ and his mother, Mary, to this marathon with God. God bless all of you.